This is the Flashforge Creator 5, the cheapest true tool-changing 3D printer. I have spent the last month pushing the limits of this machine, and it is so far my favorite FDM 3D printer of the year. This thing is turning out absolutely crazy. Full disclaimer, Flashforge did send me this printer, but they have no creative control over this video, and they are also seeing this review for the first time along with you as it is posted here. This video is also going to be a bit different than how I normally handle these first impression videos. A lot of the talking points are going to be with no script and will be kind of me leaning more into a vlog style of a day in the life using the Creator 5. I hope you enjoy, and let's begin with unboxing and setup. I have done a lot of printer unboxings, and I mean it when I say that the Creator 5 was one of the easiest unboxing experiences I've ever had. The machine ships in a protective foam-lined cardboard box. First, remove the top foam and then lift the printer out of the box. Toss the sample filament in the trash, remove the foam from the inside of the printer that contains the print head rack, and then clip the touchscreen in place before securing it with 2 screws. Slide the 4 nozzle blockers in place before installing the print head rack. To install the print heads, you push the print head rack down into a slot on the top side of the printer until it clicks into place. This snaps in very snug, but you still need to secure it in place with 2 screws. Then slide the print heads into their docking positions. There are metal pins that make it really easy to slide them into place. I was actually very impressed by how this rack system was designed. Plug in the cable to power the main tool head and secure it in place with 2 screws. You then unlock the build plate by removing 3 screws that are holding it in place during shipping. Screw the 4 spool holders in place, plug in the power cord, and power on the machine. Once the machine is powered on, you would then run the on-screen setup and all of the initial calibrations consisting of bed leveling, flow calibration, and vibration compensation. The calibration process takes around 30 minutes, so unboxing to first print is probably around 45 minutes, with the majority of the time being calibrations. The build quality is like a thick plastic pretty much all the way around, but it doesn't feel like cheap. It actually feels fairly sturdy. I think this top part is metal. This side also kind of that thick plastic. Aside from the tool changing system that makes the Creator 5 unique, it also offers a lot of features that we've come to expect now with modern printers, including high-speed printing, pressure advance, flow calibration, automatic bed leveling, and power loss recovery. But its big selling point, and the one that will appeal most to general users, is that it's advertised to have near zero purge waste. And while it doesn't produce purge waste in a traditional sense, like from a traditional AMS system, it purges the filament into prime towers. These prime towers can still be fairly hefty, but the flushing volumes can be adjusted. I left everything on stock settings for my test prints. Build plate is your traditional spring steel PEI plate. Works totally fine. And for the build plate volume, you are getting kind of the traditional build volume. So you have 256 by 256 by 256 millimeter cubed. So it's a perfect square build plate, and the USB port is actually on the front left side. I actually didn't even know this was here when I first unboxed the machine. The power on off switch is on the right side of the machine, and it's on a rocker switch here. I like that you have easy access to this right side rocker switch. One gripe is that this does poke out to the side if you're using a USB, if you're not using a flat one. So you'd have to keep a little bit of distance between the machines. There's the organ trail music that plays when you turn the machine on. I'm actually going to turn the light off so we can better see the touchscreen. The touchscreen is very responsive. It has all of your typical, modern touchscreen amenities. You have your home screen, you have your filament, loading and unloading, different material types. So you would just edit the material, same as you normally would. You have PLA, PETG, ASA. There's even a lot of kind of more obscure ones in here. SPAHT, HIPS, HIPS. There is a pretty wide color selection. Some side notes on the nozzles. The Creator 5 also comes standard with 0.4 hardened steel nozzles, so it could technically handle engineering filaments, but I don't know how much you could get away with without an active chamber heater and with its open air design. But in my opinion, it is always good to have a hardened steel nozzle, regardless of if you're printing basic PLA or if you're attempting to print engineering or abrasive materials. There is an external monitoring camera on the inside of the unit. The monitoring camera works well. It is not the greatest camera if you're trying to do something that's more like artistic, but it works good for monitoring your prints, which is all I really use it for. I check them from home, and a lot of the times I'm just looking to see if I'm having any issues to stop it or anything. So there is an LED light in here. The light is good, but the issue is my camera really doesn't like this LED. Every time I have this LED on, it just completely flashes in the footage. I'm not sure if you can see if it's flickering or not. Oh, there it goes. So I'm using the Osmo Pocket 3, and it does not like this internal light on this machine. They are not friends. And aesthetically, I think it's a very nice looking machine, especially with my backdrop. I have a lot of gray in here. I like kind of just how simple it is, no frills. I think it looks nice. I think it's a good looking machine, and I think it's built well. It is plastic, but it is a firm plastic. If at any point during this video you're interested in purchasing the Creator 5 or just getting more details on it, I will have affiliate links in the description of this video. So for the filament loading and unloading, this is something that some people had some gripes with. I don't think it's a big deal. I feel like it's super easy. There's no manual feeders, there's no manual loaders. So what you would do, let's say that I was changing out this blue filament that is on the first slot, you would take the tool head and then you manually cut. So you press it to cut, hold it in, and then it releases the filament. So this filament now is unloaded, but there's still gonna be blue in here. So when you load the next color, that'll purge that out, and I'll show you that in just a second. So let's take this blue off. Let me actually unload this one so I can show you. We'll unload white, because I need to change that one out anyways. So again, clipping, and then as it's clipped, you would hold it and then just manually pull, and now this filament is out of the tool head. The spool holders are these little pegs. It's not like the traditional ones that you have, but I actually almost prefer these because there's like no fuss. They fit every filament size. I have some of these little weird size filaments, and these will go on there perfectly fine. You're not gonna have parts popping off. Some of the traditional ones, like the bamboo ones for instance, or even the Century Carbon 2 or Snapmaker, they're kind of a one size fits all. You have a little bit of wiggle room, but not much. And I have issues with them when you're changing filaments, or if you bump into them, a lot of times the things will pop off. So this is kind of like a no fuss system. This had to have helped with their money saving aspect of this machine, not going with the auto feeders and stuff just to keep the price down as much as they could. This is, in my knowledge, the cheapest tool changing 3D printer that you can buy. We are gonna load some weird filament, rainbow glow in the dark. So I'm gonna load this in to slot 1. So we're loading it in. Now you do the opposite. So now you're squeezing the cutter, pushing the filament up, and now that filament is loaded in there, but you still have to do it on the screen as well. So then we go to our screen and you go to PLA 1, you're gonna do edit, so PLA, and we're doing a glow in the dark. So I'm gonna pick this color, and then you would just hit load. Next, because I've already done this. So this is kind of telling you, hey, you need to do this, but I already do that when I'm just loading the filament on its own. So next, the machine starts preheating. The machine used to purge the filament into the front when it was loading the filament for the first time. Flashforge has actually come out with a firmware update that pushes that to the back side. So this is now coming out on the back of the machine versus before where it used to come out here. There was an issue with this fan on the Creator 5 Pro that was sucking the filament into here. This machine doesn't have a fan here. This is just a blank space. This one you can see directly through it. So has filament been extruded? Yes. So now that filament's loaded. So on to Flashforge Orca. What is this even called? Flash Studio Desktop, which is another fork of Orca Slicer. And I think because of that, they should have called it Flashforca. Fairly standard, everything. If you're used to any kind of modern slicer basically, then you will know your way around this. They just actually changed something to where these dark modes, before if you had it in dark mode, these colors were very muted. They just changed that with an update. So this is a model I'm gonna print right now. This is a new model from Matt Meyer Makes. absolutely crazy. I don't normally print stuff like this, but once I saw this file, I was like, wow, I need to print that thing. It's pretty much your standard slicing software. If you're used to this, you're gonna feel totally at home with this slicing software. And I sent all my prints over Wi-Fi, no issues with the machine. In the slicer, under the device tabs, is where you'll find the print monitoring options, as well as editing and assigning filaments, and controlling various features like the light and camera controls. The print library built into the slicer is called Voxel Share, and while the print library was pretty limited at the time of recording this, it looks to be ever expanding. I've really enjoyed this machine so far. I haven't had one single tool change issue. I haven't had one single extrusion error or anything. It's been really solid so far. Everything I've kind of thrown at it, it's just handled. Every print that I've really put on this machine has been 30+ hours. I haven't put anything really small on it. Everything's really been to push this machine. So finally on to what matters most with the 3D printer is how well does it print? And the answer is pretty amazing actually. I ran all of the prints at the standard 0.2mm layer height, and every print that I chose was intentional to max out the color swapping of the tool changer. I tried to pick models that had 4 colors on every single layer, and the print quality really blew me away. There was no color bleeding. I mean, there can't be because the colors and nozzles are separate. No layer shifts or tool head anomalies. These were not easy prints, and it handled them all with thousands of tool changes and no issues. It's incredible how different the prints turn out. I know that's kind of hard to explain. Once you see this in action and you see the color swaps and just how much filament you're saving with this machine, it basically becomes kind of a no-brainer to pick this, even if you're spending a little bit more than something that's on a traditional older style AMS system. And I think that this really is kind of the future of FDM printing, at least in the next couple years, with the tool changers becoming more commonplace in the hobby side of it. So what are my final thoughts on the Flashforge Creator 5? As you can probably tell, I've had an amazing time with this printer so far. It has proved to be extremely reliable. It is a no-frills, well-built, and confident machine, and Flashforge has really focused their money on the areas that matter here, bringing an affordable Core XY tool changer to the hobby side of 3D printing. In conclusion, I would highly recommend the Flashforge Creator 5. Thank you as always for watching, and please like and subscribe for future content.